Okay, we're here next with John Casagrande, a longtime very successful music teacher in the Fairfax County, Virginia schools. And welcome. Glad to have you back. You were here last year, one of our wonderful clinicians that worked with the groups, and good to have you joining us again.
Thank you. It's good to be back. I enjoyed last year and the year before that. It's been a very positive experience.
Excellent.
For me as well as the kids at home.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit what we're going to be seeing, kind of how our approach is going to be with the clinics in terms of what you'll be doing with the students.
Okay. All right. First of all, I think everybody needs to understand that these bands are in the early stages of preparing music for their spring activities. I think that's the important part. And they're by no means at a finished product
Right.
stage. Most of them are in, I would probably say, 2 or 3 weeks of preparation of these things. And one of the things that I noticed last year, when we were in the year before that too, was some of the groups that are coming to this are select groups out of larger ensembles, so that they're a small part of the program and meet only once or twice a week throughout the preparation process. So that makes it kind of a little bit different. And the students are here without really the performance hanging over their head.
Right.
And it's just an educational experience for them and the directors. And it gives an insight into how they move along the process of preparing. I think it's
Right. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of a change from how things tend to usually be, where you're getting it at the end of the process, and maybe there's fewer things to talk about. Whereas here, there might be a number of items that can be addressed, and it's a really good hands-on opportunity, again, for the audience in particular, to see how various issues might be corrected and worked and rehearsed, and so it's a wonderful clinic in that aspect.
Well, I try to approach these things more from the conceptual standpoint, as much as the nitty-gritty. Well, it is nitty-gritty, but the detail work is something like getting across to kids, like, here's what you need to play with a better sound. Here's what you need to do to improve your pitch within the sound, and that sort of thing. So it becomes more conceptual than it is specific to, you'd like to get to the point where you're starting to talk about larger scale musical things, but sometimes that just doesn't happen because there are too many fundamental issues that really need to be addressed.
One of my favorite things about watching someone like you and the rest of the clinicians work with a band is not just not just how you address things, but also even seeing what you address in the first place. Because with everyone listening along, and to be able to hear and to see master clinicians identify what the biggest headlines are, and then to see how you go about doing it. So there's kind of a lot of layers there, which is going to be neat for us to be able to watch.
One of the things that I experimented with last year, and I want to try to do more of this year, was at the first introduction to the band is to let the band director conduct something. And because I think what happens is sometimes when you go in as you're a visiting conductor, you tend to start the band and you try to focus on things that are evident like right away. And sometimes there's a bigger picture that needs to be addressed, and with the band director conducting, the students are in their comfort zone and you hear what they're really addressing as they play, and that gives you a lot better foundation for what you can fix while you're here. But the conceptual thing, I think, that's the biggest thing. I mean, they're like, they're telling the kids, well, that E flat is not in tune with that E flat. That's fine, but if there's a bigger picture, then I think you need to address that as much.
Good. And one of the things that we're going to do, same as we did last year, is kind of pull the director out sort of at the halfway point. So you'll work with the group for about the first half of the session, and then we'll have you come out here and tell us from your perspective from the podium, what have you been hearing, what types of things have been happening, and then what is your plan moving forward in that next half of the time there, so that audience can have a little bit of insight as to how you're maybe taking an approach to solve some things. Gets it sort of like I likened it to when they talk to the coach at the halftime coming back out of the stadium. What are you going to discuss with the team at the in the locker room sort of thing. So
I'm a Patriots fan, and all that Bill Belichick does is snarl. So don't snarl at the nice people out there. You have to actually give us insight.
I guess we could say something maybe about the defense.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
So anyway, so that's going to be kind of our plan there with that, and I think that seemed to work quite well last year. So we're going to give that another go again this year.
I'm looking forward to that.
What was interesting from last year is after this was all over, and I watched the rebroadcast of the whole thing, and it was like, it was interesting to just see how the other clinicians were working with the same bands that I was and what we addressed. It's kind of interesting because there was not a whole lot of repetition from one conductor to the next. I thought that was really good.
That's great.
I expected to see that, but I didn't see it. So it was interesting.
So a good variety of information that these groups are going to go home with and a lot of different viewpoints. That's outstanding.
We mentioned it before, but if you're just tuning in, all of this stuff will be archived. So you'll be able to watch all of these things at any point in the future. So good stuff.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, John, for being here again. We're looking forward to watching you work with the groups and giving them your expertise on that. So
It's good to be here.
all right. Thank you much. All right.